in, we can put them into our breakout rooms. So welcome everybody. Nice to see you. I think we need people to mute if because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So just a few housekeeping rules, starting with if you're not talking, please mute, because you might, and even if, just mute anyway, because I'm getting feedback from, okay, perfect, thank you. Yeah, if you want to talk, then you can unmute. If you have questions, please put them in the chat room, and the chat room is you can access it through the bubble that says chat underneath it at the bottom of your screen. And at the end, or sort of midway, 60% through, we'll have we'll take questions from the chat room, and we have someone who's keeping a tab on those questions. So, and I think that's about it until I will let our District Governor, Mark, welcome us all.
And you're asking me to do that now?
Oh, yeah, unless you want me to explain the breakout rooms first. Up to you.
Why don't you sort of give an agenda of what the session will be, and then I'll talk.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Okay, once DG Mark welcomes us, what we're going to do is we're going to send you off into breakout rooms. And the reason we're going to do that is so that you can actually meet a few other Rotarians, because I don't think any of us have been doing much of that lately. So this is meet some Rotarians. We want you to share 4 things when you're in the room: your name, your club, when you joined Rotary, and an answer to one of 2 questions. Either what is the best experience you've had since you joined Rotary, or what are you looking for in Rotary? And so there will be a facilitator in each room to try and to sort of keep you on track. And you'll have 10 minutes. So you probably want to keep it brief. When you come back from the breakout room, our facilitators will share a high point, sort of takeaway from each room. And then after that, we'll go into a Rotary 101, a quick little sort of hit the high points of some aspects of Rotary. Let me see. I'm looking at okay. We'll have a short little video, and then we're going to talk a little bit about my Rotary, and then we're going to open it up for questions. So hopefully you'll have lots of questions in the chat room, and between us all, we'll find answers for you. Mark, take it away.
Thanks, Virginia. Appreciate that. So thank you for being here tonight. And I see it's a combination of new Rotarians, and I guess we define that by those who have been in Rotary less than 2 years. It's a combination of some seasoned veterans, some Rotaractors. So in our breakout rooms, I expect that we'll have some really good conversations. Personally, I've been a Rotarian since 2006. And I always say it's the best decision I ever made, but I have to catch myself, because I have to say that marrying my wife, or asking my wife to marry me, was the best decision. This was the second best decision to join Rotary. It has provided me with endless opportunities. And ironically enough, RI President Holger Knack, his theme this year is Rotary Opens Opportunities. As I mentioned, it's opened so many opportunities for me, both at the club and district level. I'm not sure if people have seen our public image campaign, which we put on the District 7070 social media sites, but it talks about favorite Rotary moments for individuals. And I had the opportunity to submit my favorite Rotary moment. It was posted on many social media channels. But my favorite Rotary moment was when I actually attended my first meeting. I was at I was invited by somebody. I was at the massage clinic, and the administrative person there said, I noticed Rotary plaques on the wall. I said, what's this Rotary thing? And the lady said, well, why don't you come on down and come to a meeting? And that was incredible opportunity. I went to the meeting, and I realized there was so much international work going on. And I always had a love and passion for traveling, and I always wanted to do international work. And I realized that Rotary could open up that channel for me. It was the means for me to carry out humanitarian work. And since then, I've been to Thailand and Laos and the Dominican Republic on several occasions doing humanitarian work. So going back to my point, it opened up so many opportunities for me in my life. So I hope you find your opportunities in Rotary. The fact that you're here tonight shows an interest that you are enjoying Rotary. There's a statistic that the more you know about Rotary, the more likely you are to continue on being a Rotarian. So I hope you have fun in your Rotary career and get involved in service projects. And hopefully you'll get something out of tonight's session as well. So thank you, Virginia. And I look forward to being in a breakout room with a few other people.
All right. So Charles, so just to so right now, for anybody who's just joined, we're going to send you off to breakout rooms, and you'll have a facilitator who will be your, keep you on track. So Charles, go ahead.
And I'm unmuting. One of the big things that we kept talking about was volunteering and integrating into the community. But one of the most important, not one of the most important, but one of the things that caught me was one of our group members said he never felt alone. He had friends everywhere. Rotary made him feel like he had friends everywhere. And I brought that here to our group. That was very catchy.
Great, thank you very much. Joan Barrett.
Yes, I think one of the interesting things that came out in ours was that one, if I'm not mistaken, there might have been two, who said there were actually Rotarians in their family, and then they too became Rotarians. And I think the general consensus was they were anxious to give back, and some were, it was because of international service, and some was community service, but they were all very happy with the fellowship that was coming from Rotary.
Thank you. Next up, Lars Hendrickson.
You're muted, Lars.
Maybe go on the next one.
Bob Wallace.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. We had an interesting group. We had two of us in the group, myself and Gord Leverton, that have been around for a long, long time. And we had three relatively new Rotarians and one Rotaractor. Of the new Rotarians, one is still kind of searching for a club, So really brand new. One is 2 weeks. And so it was a good discussion. As expected, it helped the community and get involved in international. So local projects and international projects were what they were looking for. And which is typical of why most people join Rotary, is to make a difference in their community. But it was great to meet some new people, and on to the next one.
Thank you. Lars, you are unmuted now, so go ahead.
Okay, well, it was really similar in our group. The interesting thing was that we had two of the members that were not even Rotarians, even though they are out to meetings and so on and so forth. But it was both the international aspect and the fact that it gives an opportunity to do good things in the community. There was also actually an interesting activity because of an exchange student returning from Argentina and now starting up an Interact club in Campbellton.
Yay.
Great. Marcy?
Thank you, Charles. I'd like to unmute myself. Yes, I had a very interesting group, and there was one lady has been a Rotarian since 1993, and has finally made her way to Canada. Welcome, and she's ready to start over again in Canada. The group was a young group, youngest group, in the sense that they had just joined Rotary either from the beginning of the year or late last year. And it's a sense of community and working together and getting things done. It's what I'm taking away from this group. Working together, I thought, was the big one. Thank you, Charles.
That's awesome. Standing in for Courtney Doldrum is Dave Andrews.
Thank you, Charlie. Our group had three relatively new Rotarians and two rather seasoned ones, myself and Baz Diaz. I think we all know Basil too, from North Scarborough. Anyway, we all talked about what we have already done in our clubs. And the funny thing was, I've seen all of what they've done because they post them all on Facebook. It was so nice to see what Rotarians do and for me to actually understand what they're doing because I've seen it already. And I really encourage everybody to do the same. Tell us what you're doing and show us. Why did we join? Collectively, to get involved, both for locally and globally, to do good in the world. That's why we joined.
Thank you,
And
Dave.
that's about it.
Nicole Patterson.
Hello. I think with our group, I think we had the most comments on people talking about international travel and meeting up fellow Rotarians and the whole different world of people out there who are interested in giving back the same way you might be, or we might be here. And yeah, I think we had half the group said that.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Pat Newman.
Where's Pat? Pat, are you muted? Oh, there's Pat. Thank you, Pat.
About that. We had a very interesting group. We had some very seasoned members and we had some really newer members. We had a brand new member just about a month ago, 2 weeks to a month ago. And we had a Rotaractor who was a charter member of the Willowdale Club. We also had Rotarian who was a charter member of the Agincourt Club. So one of the things that I picked up from everybody is that they joined Rotary, they wanted to give back, and those were the things that they mentioned the most. The connections, a very good instance, Michael is a dentist in Uxbridge. He heard about the Brushmania from Rafi, and they started in Uxbridge. So that's a really great connection, really good one. And fellowship, getting to know people and having friends everywhere. and the fellowship is really, really important. So that's what we had. Good stuff.
Thank you very much, Pat. That is everything from the breakouts, and back to you, Virginia.
Great, thank you very much. So we have, so what I'm going to show you next is a short deck. There's not a lot of slides in it, but it's a bit of an introduction to Rotary, and I'm sure I'll have lots of fact checkers in the room here. So let's, it worked the other day, so let's try it now. Oh, share. There we go. Okay, so now let's do. There we go. Look at that. It worked. Practice was worth it. Okay, so this is a bit of a Rotary 101, but I'm really just hitting a couple of headlines in terms of what we're covering. So from the beginning, Rotary actually started in 1905, and it was the first service club in the world. And interestingly enough, the way it started was just a gentleman named Paul Harris was a businessman in Chicago, but I think he came from a small town and was missing that small town spirit, and got together with 3 other businessmen, and they decided that what they wanted to do was just get together and chat about sort of events and what was going on. And this was the start of the Chicago Rotary Club. And soon after they started meeting, they had their first service project, and it was an outhouse in downtown Chicago. So there, bring that one back to your clubs. Now, Rotary grew across the country. It expanded internationally, with the first club being Winnipeg in 1910. And we gained a Toronto, the first Toronto club was in 1912. Oh, okay. So, okay, wait a minute. My mouse is not, so let's try that. Ah, there we go. Our motto is service above self, and service above self really, that exemplifies the humanitarian spirit of Rotary. And it's really what people were talking about in the breakout sessions, just being able to do service. One of our hallmarks is the 4-way test. Some will know it, and I bet some don't. So we have a 4-way test. It's called, of everything we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? There's a little history behind this. And that is in 1932, a Rotarian, Herbert Taylor, was charged with bringing a company back out of bankruptcy. And what he did was he came up with this 4-way test as a sort of an ethical guideline for the company and for his employees. And it worked, and he was successful, and so were the employees in the company. In 1954, he became RI president, and he brought the 4-way test with him. So for us, it's meant to be a guideline for things that we do in Rotary, but in our business and also personal life. So what's a newer piece to Rotary is our new vision statement. So together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Our vision statement is, I believe, maybe 2017 or 2016, and it is part of a new strategic direction for Rotary in order to make us more relevant to all of our members and also to the world. So let's talk about clubs a bit. So first of all, we're all members of a Rotary club, or almost there. And Rotary clubs belong to Rotary International. So let's keep going here. But Rotary, what's interesting is Rotary is really a grassroots organization. Almost all the projects and work get done at the club level. Clubs decide what sort of projects they want to do, whether it's in the local community or international. And quite often, some of these projects end up going viral in today's terminology. Two projects that you might be aware of. One is Easter Seals that started as a Rotary project, and another is Shelter Box. So what does our organization look like? I mentioned that all the work gets done in the clubs. So at the top of this is a reverse pyramid, and at the top is a Rotary Club because that's where all the work gets done. So we have over, and I think it's maybe more like 1.4 million Rotarians. And we have the district in the middle, and what we need to know about the district is there to sort of help clubs, to help us get the most from our membership. And there's a number of, in part of this training and learning, we have there's two things that come to mind. One is a district assembly. And the district assembly typically is in May, and it's held for president-elects, secretary, treasurers, board members, and all interested Rotarians to learn more about Rotary. And the second one is the Rotary Leadership Institute, or you may hear of it as RLI. Now, one sidebar here. I've talked about district committees. What you need to know is all of the people who work as part of the district, the people that your facilitators and everyone else, we are all Rotarians. We all belong to clubs. We're all involved in our own club, and we've taken the opportunity to get involved in Rotary beyond our own clubs, in the district, and for some people even internationally. And this is something that every Rotarian can do. So something to look forward to. What about this District 7070? Quick snapshot, it stretches from Picton in the east over to Etobicoke in the west. We actually go up as far as Alliston, and there are actually 64 clubs in our district and just over 2,000 Rotarians, 2,034. Clubs actually, a focus of clubs, we have, for some of the service that we do, there are 5 categories, and you may see that your club actually has committees for each one of these. Club service is to look after the club health and activities. Vocational is to integrate what we do in our business life or community life with what we do in Rotary and the projects that we do. Community service is meant to address issues that we see in the community where we can help out. International, apply the same principle to projects in other countries. And youth service is recognizing the importance of youth and needing to empower young people and young professionals. One little note, Rotary has lots of different programs and groups, and I'm just going to put this up here. One you might have heard about is our Rotary Action Groups. For instance, focused around different humanitarian efforts. Water and sanitation is one that comes to mind, fondly known as Wash Rag. So something for you to look up. Rotary has a foundation, and actually it has a nonprofit arm to Rotary, and it has one of the best ratings that you can get in terms of management of a foundation. The foundation actually came into being around in 1917. And the very first donation to the foundation was by the outgoing president, Arch Klump, and it was $26.50. And from there, it has grown to to a foundation that has provided millions and millions of dollars to transform lives around the globe. And the mission of the Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. Now, we're able as clubs to use the money in the foundation to do some pretty interesting projects. Things like a few clubs getting together with a few $1,000s each and being able to get grants money from the foundation to take a few $1,000s from one of our clubs and make it into a project that's over $100,000. But if we take money out, we have to put money in. And one of the ways we can do that is once a year, we have a foundation walk. And the walk is a vehicle to help Rotarians raise funds for our foundation. You are going to hear more about the foundation walk in the next couple of weeks because it's coming up. And finally, one hallmark of Rotary is our End Polio Now campaign. In 1985, Rotary adopted polio eradication as one of its main causes, a key cause. In 1985, there were 1,000 cases a day. And now we're at, since the beginning of 2020, we're at 102 cases, and we are only in 2 countries. That is only in 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And then one reason I'm telling you about this is because there's another date coming up, and that is World Polio Day on October 24th. And what we're asked to do is actually help raise awareness of our End Polio Now campaign. That's what we're asked to do on Polio Day, on World Polio Day. So make a lot of noise, tell a lot of people. We can learn more. There will be 2 more sessions that will cover totally different things, November 18th and February 18th. We have a little ad for Tuesday Talks, the second Tuesday evening of every month. You can learn more, some fabulous speakers, and a couple of sites to go to as well. So hopefully we'll get lots of questions out of this. And I'm going to ask, I don't know, are there any questions following this? Or
Hello, Virginia, if I am allowed just 30 seconds for it.
Yes, Fareed.
Yeah, it's a wonderful narration of Rotary, but you missed the one important pillar, vocational service and promotion of forward test and ethical standard. That aspect was missed. So I think this is the area where we are different from any other organization. Rotary promotes ethical standard, high ethical standard. This is, we are proud of it.
Thank you, Fareed. That was yes. I had to weed out some slides, but thank you so much. That's great. And so I think one thing, what I'll do is before we hit questions, 2 things to do. First of all, Charles, do you have our little video?
Yes, just one sec.
You good, or do we want a commercial break with Bob?
Are we seeing that now?
Nope.
No.
No, okay. Maybe go with Bob and I'll get it up.
Okay, Bob, I'm putting you on the hot spot here.
Yeah, good for you. Thank you. What I was going to talk about, if I can get my screen where we are here, and that is talk a little bit about Rotary and my Rotary. So, but as all good plans go aside, the Rotary site is down tonight, so I can't walk you through what I was going to do. So I'll just talk you through some of the things. So if you log into Rotary.org, which is the Rotary International website, what you'll see when you first log in, or not before you log in, what you'll see on that site is a public-facing view of Rotary, and there's lots of information available there to the general public. But what we get to do is we get to log into something called My Rotary, and that's where you get onto the member side of the website, and there's a wealth of information available there. One of the things you do to create, first of all, create an account in My Rotary is it's simply an email or username and a password that you set up, and you will have access to My Rotary. And I hope everyone here either does that or has done that because of the wealth of information that's there. Once you're there, one of the things you can do is you can adjust your account settings, of course, but you can develop a personal profile. You can current picture, you can put up there, and building out your profile of what you've done, what you're interested in, so that you can be found by other Rotarians for networking and shared interests. Virginia mentioned the Rotary friendship groups and fellowships, and this is a great way to search out like-minded Rotarians throughout the world, is through your personal profile. So that's one piece of homework for you to take away once the My Rotary site is up and running. The second thing is a piece of information or a place called Rotary Club Central. And that is a place where your club can enter their goals for the year. And the goals revolve around many, many different aspects, from membership to PR to the foundation donations to club projects to all sorts of different things. And it's pretty much a blank page for clubs to enter their information. Few members of the club actually have access to edit the information, but every club member has an opportunity to view the information for their club. And one of the things we do in there is with our projects is we track dollars that the project costs, and they're not really have to be accurate, to a spreadsheet capable, but an idea of what the project dollars were, in-kind donations, number of Rotarians involved, volunteer hours, and all sorts of things like that. And then these can be added together, in which Rotary Club Central does, and that is to determine, as I say many times, what's the impact of your Rotary Club in your community? And it's hard to answer that question, but you can readily answer it if you use Rotary Club Central. Well, then what's the impact of our 64 clubs in our district? What's the impact of those clubs? What's the impact of our district? What's the impact of our zone? What's the overall impact? If you add it all together, we can come up with the dollars that the Rotarians throughout the world contribute to each of our communities. So there's information Rotary Club Central, and a great spot to go and see what your club's up to and see what else is up there. Club projects can be posted to a couple of other places, Rotary Showcase and Rotary Ideas, which we'll get into in our later membership segments, but great places to look. The final place I want you to have a look at is the Learning Center. Rotary has developed a wonderful online learning center, e-learning center, and it has many, many, many topics where you can, if you're interested in a particular topic, you can search for it. The search system works very good, and you can work through it at your leisure and from your desktop or your computer or your laptop to learn about a particular Rotary topic. And one of the ones you can start with is the Getting Started with the Learning Center, or Getting Started with Learning Topics. They're only 15-minute courses, but they are a great way. And the other thing we can do is schedule, if we're schedule one course a week as an example, but they also make great courses. The courses would make great club or committee meeting topics if you were inclined to do that. So that's the My Rotary information that is out there. And I wish I could show you some of that, but I can't get into My Rotary tonight. I would like you to show you one, if I can. Can I share my screen, Charles?
Yep, think so.
Yes, go ahead, Bob.
Okay, share my screen, share. This is an example. This is part of the Rotary District 7070 Facebook page. And you can see that what Mark and Virginia were talking about, our Rotary moments. So here we have our friend Steve Rutledge from the Whitby Sunrise Club in Laos with a couple of children and the projects that he's done. And there's a whole bunch of these Rotary moments available on our district website. So have a look through the district Facebook page. And there's all sorts of, as you can see here, graphics available and things. Here we are with all sorts of different stuff available. I don't see any Rotary moments coming down here in the list. Of course, I only found one with Steve, but there are lots of them there with information. So look at our Rotary Facebook page for more information about what Rotarians are doing. And from I'll put Dave Andrews' hat on for a minute. These pictures that show up here are great pictures of us doing things. There was that's the best kind of picture to take for your PR information, is people doing things. There was I don't want to be critical of Virginia's slides, but there was a slide there showing a whole bunch of people in ties and shirts at a dinner meeting. That does not instill excitement in me to go to that meeting. So there's, as I say, go to the Facebook page and make use of it. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Charles, Virginia.
Hey, Charles.
Thank you. All right. Do you want to see the video now? If you can just.
Sure. I think, Bob, you have to stop sharing.
Okay. Pause share. Okay, I did that. Is that what I want to do? Stop share.
Stop share. Thank you.
Okay. I did it.
You did
Awesome.
it. Okay.
So this is.
Is that my niece?
I think we're not hearing the sound.
We're not. I'm not seeing it, Virginia.
Oh. I'm actually seeing it, but I'm not hearing it. So, okay. So perhaps we, somehow or other, it's not, doesn't seem to be working. So
Virginia, what if you and Charles want to play around with it? I can say a little bit about it. This is what Virginia was trying to show is there's a Rotary video that is available to all of us through Rotary Vimeo, and we can download it and make use of it amongst many, many, many other videos. But in this case, we've got a couple of people showing what Rotarians see. And the first one is a person goes into a very dusty, old, cluttered room and visualizes a school classroom. And another one is, which they became a Rotary project. Another one is a group was in an old auto junkyard and found an old beat up bus that the Rotarians turned into a food handout bus. And another one, again, an old dusty room that became a medical center. So it's a great video to show what we as Rotarians are thinking about when we're looking at different when we see different things, what we can turn it into.
okay, so you know what I'm going to do next, as long as I'm not on mute, is Joan, do we have some questions?
See, there was just one. There was lots of positive information being passed back and forth and welcoming people. But the one question was, which actually did get answered, but maybe we need someone else to answer. Do I have to be a member to log into the website? And the answer back was, you have to be a member to sign in, but there are pages at rotary.org that you can visit, but I'm not sure that's the full response at this point in time. So do I have to be a member to log into the Rotary website is the question.
Okay, Bob, I mean, you can go into the Rotary, you can go into the website, but you can't get to the inward facing. So
Yeah.
the My Rotary part.
That's correct.
Okay, so, but as soon as you become a member, we'll get you on.
You have to be in the system as a member to be able to create an account.
Yep.
Now, don't forget that the Rotary 7070 site is also, you can go on there and see a lot of things going on. And there's also a members area that you also create an account for and get information there as well.
Virginia, I just got another question. Where do we access Rotary Club Central and the Learning Center?
So I can answer that one for you, Joan. When you go to, for both of those, you go to the rotary.org and log into My Rotary, and partway down in the middle of the page, you'll see a series of the Learning Center, Rotary Showcase, Rotary Ideas, and things like that. So it's on My Rotary section of the international website.
And that was the last question that I have on the screen at this time on the chat.
Okay, so I have one ask of everyone. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, because certainly the other thing, we'd like to do is build maybe answers to those questions into the November 18th session. Or if you have any ideas or I wish I knew, because the November 18th session will be totally different, but we will have recorded this session so you can share it with anyone who wants.
So why don't you take the opportunity, Virginia, just to plug the upcoming dates. So you have the Grow Rotary Workshop on October 3rd.
Yes, so we have Grow Rotary Workshop, which is, sorry, let me see. It used to be called our membership workshop, but it really is the new strategic direction is to expand it. We're not just looking to bring members in. We want Rotary to have a presence so that people actually are talking about us and coming to see us. So this is our Grow Rotary platform, and that's October the 3rd. And November the 18th will be session 2 for new members. And
I'm going to plug the Tuesday talk sessions as well. So on the second Tuesday of every month, we have a Zoom session where we get together with some incredible speakers. We've had 2 sessions already, and each time they've been attended by 100 or so District 7070 members. The one coming up in September, I can't wait for. It's Dr. Todd Bowtie Jenkins. He's a relatively young African-American. He's been a Rotarian for 6 years. He's 30 years old. He's got a doctorate in diversity and inclusion in service organizations like Rotary. I've heard him speak before in Niagara Falls. He had a huge standing ovation at the end of the session. So I really encourage you to go to the district websites, sign up. You'll be sent the Zoom link, and that is September 8th, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that session. That is, diversity, equity, inclusion is a big part of what we're doing in the district. We have a district committee that has been formed with 10 people across the district. And this is a big part of the kickoff to that committee is having Dr. Todd Bowtie Jenkins speak. And as I said, you won't want to miss him.
Okay, 2 more questions came in, Virginia, if you would like them now.
Okay, I see one person flagging, so let me get Pauline to ask her question, and then I'll go to you, John.
Okay.
Well, it was just related to the Tuesday talks. It just so happens that Tuesday happens to be, in my instance, a class night. And I am curious as to whether or not the sessions will be recorded so that we can view them at a later date.
Take it away, Charles.
Yeah, the answer to the question is yes. This one is being recorded, and the Tuesday talks have been recorded, and they will be available on the district website. There'll be a link shown there.
And are they available now, the two past ones, or they're not up on the site yet?
They're not as yet, but
Okay.
give me a couple of days.
Very soon.
Okay, and
Very soon.
thank you, Pauline. Joan.
Okay, one question. What is the simplest way to describe Rotary to someone who does not know about Rotary? And after that, I have one more. Who will you give that to?
Putting the Rotary vision statement into your own words, or adapting it a little bit, where the mission statement is the greatest thing to. It's a great tool to put in your own, to ask what is Rotary.
So as a reminder, it's together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So if you personalize that, that should be that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw a question that said, will RLI be online?
Or virtual?
Or
Yeah,
will RLI be virtual? And do we know the answer to that, Mark?
Not yet.
Okay.
We don't know what's happening next month, let alone the next 6 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The best part of RLI is the interaction and exchanging ideas like we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
So if we can pivot and you do it in some way that we can interact like this, it would work. But the interaction amongst people, getting us to talk to each other is the best part of our RLI, the Rotary Leadership Institute.
Okay. Well, Joan, are we done questions?
I do believe so.
Okay. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who attended the session, everybody who helped facilitating, and thank you, DG Mark, for kicking us off and being around. And Bob, thank you for persevering.
Yeah.
Charles, thank you for being our techie person.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you, Virginia, for hosting us tonight. Appreciate it.
So just a quick comment. If anybody has any questions that come up, when we hang up, you're going to say, I wish I'd asked this. Fire them off to Virginia and we'll get back to you.
I will send the link out for the video that we were going to show to everybody that was registered on the call.
Yep.
Thanks, Charles.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, and thank you very much.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles. We'll see you.
Take care, Mark.
Take it easy. Thanks.
Thanks.